Hey there, this is Ragnon, and this is my walkthrough for Mythic Fyrakk. Really fun fight. I had a lot of fun with it. We took us a lot of pulls. Took us over 400, so it was a bit of a slog, but we made it. Killed it last Wednesday, and I'm really happy and excited to say I was able to secure a ranked 9 parse on our first kill. So that was really exciting. It doesn't always happen that way, but that was really exciting. So um, going over this. So first of all, the big things in phase one are getting a very strong habit of dispelling and also making sure that you're always pre-moving for these firestorms. So right here, there's a lot that happens in this fight, so I'm going to be pausing and stuff a lot, so I apologize in advance. Right here off the pull, I'm trying to be in position to precast. I don't greet it super hard. I wait until 1 second to start casting Holy Fire because again, if you pull early, you're dead. He just jumps right on top of you. So I aimed on the later side of things. So Holy Firing and immediately casting Seedling right after because it will help with your timing for the second Seedling when you're moving with that second Dream Rend. Again, I'm just going to be going over how I had my cooldowns assigned. You might have yours slightly different, but I'm just going to explain how I had mine and why. So popping Seedling immediately because I want it as up as early as possible for the second cast. And I did use the macro that automatically puts Guardian Spirit on the Seedling because I was pretty much exclusively using it for that for the healing amp. Here, as soon as the wildfire hits, we're looking to dump all of our Serenity charges and Circle of Healing and then spam Flash Heal for as long as we possibly can. Soak up as much healing as possible. And then before the nerf, it was a lot more important to get the dispels. It's a little bit more lenient now. I'm hesitant to say that because if you're just beginning progression, I don't want you to build bad habits. But before the nerf, it was so tight that like if my dispel was about to come off cooldown in like 1 to 2 seconds, I had to sit on my global because I only have about 4% haste with my current stats. I had to sit on my global and use dispel as my next thing. I couldn't use a prayer of mending and just wait for the next global or something like that. Now it's a little bit more lenient, so you can fit in an extra global, I'd say. I'm hesitant to advise that again because I don't want you to build bad habits. The dispels still are a threat, but they're definitely a lot more manageable now. So anyways, still spamming Flash Heal. Right now, I'm in position. So this first set of Firestorms, there's one that's over here, and this dimple, you want to get used to looking for these dimples right here. So the first one's right here, second one goes right here, third one is where I am currently at, and the fourth one goes right here. So as it goes out, I did not get the set, so I'm in position, and as soon as I see that I am not the Firestorm placer or whatever, I'm looking to move through the group and dodge these firestorms. You can wait a bit if it's really scary. These actually expire much quicker than the firestorms. So you can see the swirlies go away and then the firestorm pops after that. So you can wait just a second. It's better to get hit by the firestorm than it is to get hit by the swirly. The swirlies are bad news. Right here, this is actually a good time to talk about baiting frontals. We were really stressing to all of our ranged that baiting frontals needs to be a priority for everyone. Now that being said, about halfway through progression, I stopped like trying to stand out at range and baiting and stuff like that because priests, you are a very slow class, and it's more important that you're in position for a really strong firestorm than it is for you to be out like a mage baiting and stuff. So instead, the way that I approached it is if one spawned near me, then I would take it upon myself to go ahead and bait it out. But I'm not intentionally standing way out in Africa to try to bait it. So I'm more so prioritizing being really consistently in position for the firestorms. So right here, running through, hitting with as much AoE healing as possible, watching these frontals, and then what I liked to do here for this firestorm is I would tuck. I was assigned to. I don't think you can see it. I was assigned to the right group. We had pre-assigned groups for right, middle, and left for the Mythic Soak. And since I was right, what I would do is I would tuck back as far as possible so that if it went on me, it was really easily for everyone to visually see that the right position was already taken. So right here, I did not get it. I'm looking to use Fade just a little bit early here. I'm just mainly using Fade to reduce the damage of this initial hit. And here's where I usually timed my Halo. I was a little late there, so I had to do it after. And then right here, going into these beams, this is where I would use my Desperate Prayer. Sometimes I'd forget and I needed to use it on the move, but ideally you want to use Desperate Prayer here because we're going to use Symbol before we actually move for the Dream Rend. So here, dodging beams, popping Desperate Prayer, baiting if possible. This is a good moment to talk about beams since this is the first one that I've got. So when you get a beam, you want to plant as quickly as possible. And then if you need to dodge, for example, this beam, let's say it was a little further up, I could dodge forward or I could dodge back. You can move safely along your beam just fine, and that gives you actually a lot of wiggle room to you dodge mechanics and stuff, but you don't want to move side to side and snipe people with your beams. That's very, very bad. So you can see I was actually backpedaling a little bit while I was casting to just make sure I was a little bit safer out of that beam. Here, this wildfire is a pretty big hit. We have the AMZ, so what I did pre-nerf is I would run in here and I would use a Sanctify if I had one. This is a great moment for a Holy Nova because the rate is stacked and you probably have a full Rhapsody stack by here. And then I would Symbol of Hope and Gate. The problem is after the nerf, we were actually phasing a little bit too early and my Gateway wasn't off cooldown. So you'll see right here, me and most of the raid are actually running. Because this first gateway is a bait. It's if you use it when we used to, you have to use it really early, otherwise it won't be on cooldown. Depending on what time you phase him. We were phasing him right after, ideally right after the firestorms before that last Mythic soak. We were trying to milk it by hitting that. So here, Symbol of Hope. Reset everybody's cooldowns, and then run as quickly as possible. All right, right here, this is actually a pretty big learning curve that I had to get over. Maybe I'm just thick, but this took me a while to get. So whether you gate or whether you run, whatever, you want to get as far forward as possible because, I'll show you in a second here. So here we're running. Doing a Dispel is not super important. I usually tried to, but we're going to Mass Dispel in just a second. So here, getting my Prayer of Mending. I was a little late on this set. Ideally, I would like to be up here where Joyous is. And then as I'm getting sucked back, I'm casting my Mass Dispel. It's actually, the timing's weird. It's like just a split second after you get pulled. If you use it too early, nobody gets hit by the Mass Dispel. So it's like pull and cast. That was a little bit early. I did still get 3 Dispels there. And the only reason I was able to survive that, I guess I could have run, but here I was consistently using my my Goblin Jump, either here or right after this. So in a perfect world, on my better pools, I was up here and I would get pulled back, cast Mass Dispel, and then I'd just walk over. Here I had to Goblin Jump to get back into position. And what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to stay behind our tank. He's marked blue. I do not want to get in front of him. I want to stay here with this clump of people. This is where I would dump all of my AoE heals, all of my Sanctify charges, all of my, if I had Holy Nova stacked up, you're looking to do all that right here. And then I'm staring right here at this move timer. And right as soon as it hits 0 and it says move, on my better pools, what I was doing is I was Goblin Jumping this way towards the old fire. That's because that's the next area where you'll need to bait Firestorm. So the quicker you can get in that position, the more that you can stand still and cast. So here, just either jumping or running through, and then at some point looking to, dodge side to side, whatever you need to do to dodge the blazes there. If you get assigned with one of these first blazes, so let's say that I was, I can't tell who that's on. I think it's on Iced Out. If I was on iced out, I would move like one step and then stop, because these blazes, these embers from the Dreamrend are still going to be coming. So if you stand there, there's a good chance that you're going to get hit. That happened to me fairly frequently. So I might take a step forward, and then I might actually move along the direction of my blaze, so that I get further away from this path of where the embers are coming from. So you can see he moves, and now he's planted. You have to plant pretty early, otherwise you're screwing up the rest of the group. But you do want to get a little bit of wiggle room away from those embers. Here are these frontals. Just none of them got put on me, so here I'm just looking for a safe position, and I'm moving into position for these firestorms. So the positions for this firestorm, there's one. It's actually not right here. The first one should be actually be tucked up against the edge, kind of shifted up this way. So one is right here. 2 is in this dimple, 3 is in this dimple, and 4 is in the dimple that's right behind my unit frames. So I usually claim this dimple. Unfortunately, you can see everybody's right here, and I'm the fastest to move, kinda. And so I take it upon myself to actually get the far one here. Unfortunately, I'm blocked by this, so I have to kind of take a little move around, and Gala's not sure if I'm going to make it, so she scoots over. So it's a little scuffed, but it worked out. So here I'm kind of moving around. I did get hit, so right after that I used my health pot and looking to place this. That was almost there. I should have been right here, so I'll just play that again without talking. So here these go out, split second decision. I'm going to the edge. I get hit, health pot, and I should have been a little further over, but luckily the extra one that spawned was in a really nice position. It was just in between those, so it didn't actually change anything. So here, looking to bait the frontals, I got a really nice bait here. I bait both of these actually right towards each other, so that was pretty cool. And then we're looking to get into our position for the mythic baits. So right here, just trying to get as much AoE healing as possible. And the mythic baits go like this. The first one goes right here in this double dimple, I guess. 2's right here, and 3's right here in this third dimple. So I did not get it, but everybody's in the correct position, so I'm soaking here. Again, I fade for damage resistance on the hit from this, and then a desperate prayer for the follow-up blazes. Sometimes I'd pop it early if I was the one that was assigned with the circle and I was worried about not enough people being in it or something like that. Things happen, but for the most part, that's how I planned out my defensives. So here the hit happens, moving into the middle, trying to get some room to dodge the blazes so I can cast as much as possible. This is a little spicy. I dodged this one at the last second. And then right here we drop the disc barrier. Everybody stacks. We take a big hit from Wildfire, and then Fyrakk is going to be dragged back for Dreamrend. And so right here, this is my Divine Hymn timing. You want to channel Divine Hymn as early as possible, because if you're late at all, it's really easy to not make it far enough up when you're running away from this next Dreamrend, and it pulls you more exponentially the closer that you are. So I actually had a couple pulls where I greeted my Divine Hymn, channeled it all the way even though I was late, and I'd run and I only made it like up to here, and I was just getting sucked, and I got jumping around the embers and baiting on my head, and it was just bad news. So and there's actually a clip of that on my Twitch channel. But so anyways, right here, looking to cast Divine Hymn as early as possible. That was really bad. I moved around a bunch. I should have just planted right there and cast it. You don't want to be so far back that the wildfires are going to creep up and hit you, but you want to get it going early. So right here I'm channeling with my amount of haste. It's 7.7 seconds. It's a long channel. So I did get it off running. We have Stampeding Roar here, so fortunately made it just in time. So here, the next thing that I'm doing, I'm dumping all my AoE heals that I possibly can, any Sanctify charges, Circle of Healing, Holy Nova, all that good stuff. And then I am eyeballing the Seedling, and I'm spamming it as soon as I possibly can, because what I want to do is I want to catch the healing of all of this pull damage from Dreamrend going into the blazes to help stabilize the group leading into the blazes and also during the blazes. So right here, I'm casting my stuff, Holy Nova, moving over, and right here I'm spamming Seed as soon as my fingers allow. And this is also, I believe, No, I was not PIing here because I got moved to the DK. But when I was on Hunter, I was PIing here. So here are these blazes. Again, I got assigned really early. So what I'm looking to do here is, as I'm doing my seedling, I'm literally the first one, moving just a little bit. And then I was running along my line to try to not get hit by these other ones. I'm spamming Serenities into the seedling. You can see here I had GS as part of my macro, and I've spammed 2 Serenities. One of those was a tier set proc. And then here to survive, I think I health stoned. No, I did not. I did not need to, so. And then optionally, you can, since I'm GSing the seedling, you can spam flash shields at that point into it. You don't have to, but that is worth it if you're GSing it. It's not worth just spamming flash shields if you have not used GS on it. So here, just looking to use my Halo and dodge the frontals and stuff like that, spam as many Prayer of Healings as I can, and then get in position for the gateway. Before I forget, this is a good moment to talk about mana pot. So my mana pot, you can kind of see it down there. I apologize. It has 4 minutes and 14 seconds. I was a little late doing it. Sometime during phase 1, you want to use your mana pot. So I usually used it a good place is, for example, so right here at the beginning, let's see here. So right about here during these, so right after these second set of firestorms and the embers and stuff like that, somewhere in here, I use my Shadow Fiend, and sometimes I'd use my mana pot here. Sometimes I'd use it right here after the Dream Rend when you're moving and you're doing these frontals and blazes and stuff like that. Around there is where I'd recommend probably for your first mana pot, so that you're not, overcapping your mana, but you're using it early enough so that you can use it for phase 3. So that's when I did mine. You can look at lorgs and see where other people are using theirs and make your own decision, depending on if you want to use a long drink or if you want to just use an instant. So I was using an instant there. All right, so right here was after the... I believe this is it. Yep. Okay, so let me just back up a second here. Oh dear. Sorry. All right, so here's the blazes. Plant. This is right at the end of the Dream Rend. So dispelling, Halo, dodging frontals, whatever. Looking for getting in position for the gateway after this firestorm. You can see again, firestorm was coming out. I was already sprinting into position in case I was assigned. I was not, but if I was, then I would be looking to drop it right here along this edge. So that's a habit that you need to build, is anytime firestorms are coming, you should already be hauling to where you need to go. Unfortunately, this one got forced out, so it's going to get vacuumed up when the boss lands, but it makes the gateway a little bit awkward because it's right on top of the gate. So what happened here is I moved around to try to get in range of the gate, and I was looking at health bars. I was tunneling on this dispel, so I thought I was in range. And when he hit, I actually was not in range, and the other gate was back here. So I'm actually not in range of either gate. So what happens here is I get knocked up, and I goblin jump to get into position, and I start calling out in comms. This is a good habit for you to do as well, because there are some backups that just usually don't know where to go. So I was calling cover L4 purple or something like that. L4? Okay, I got it. But I ended up landing where I needed to. So for these positions, it's important for you to learn where like 1, 2, 3, 4 middle all look. I was actually on the note for consistent position, so I was always L4. Sometimes purple, sometimes red, but always right here, which is nice. So right here, what I liked to do to make it really obvious that the orb was being grabbed and to make it safe, not just standing there and letting it come into me, I actually liked sprinting forward just a little bit to grab it. You want to sprint forward and then stop. If you keep running, sometimes it glitches and it goes through you, kind of like the annoying orbs on Forgotten Experiments and stuff. It's buggy, so you do want it to move into you, but I like running forward a little bit just to make it really clear to everyone else that I've got this. I'm going to grab that. People were complaining about how much it hurt to take 2 or 3 orbs. I I don't know what they were struggling with because honestly, I consistently took 2 or 3 orbs just about every time, and I didn't really have too much of a problem surviving. The only problem that I had was I had a couple pulls where I had a blaze as I was soaking an orb or in quick succession, and that can be a little scary. But so right here, right after the second orb, this is the time when I pop Desperate Prayer for all these blazes, and I'm looking to get in a somewhat central position to make sure that I'm in range to hit everybody with salve. So I'm scooting back just a little bit, salve, and I grab a third orb here. You can see my health. I've dropped, what, 40% ish. And then here, this back half, right after that blaze, going into the second blaze, this is actually quite scary. So right here, after this, that orb, that third orb, or fourth orb, I guess, uh, you're looking to spam heals as much as possible, get everybody topped up because health is a little bit spicy right here. So looking to triage, cast palms and circle of healings on people that are low. All right, and then right here, if you can, this is a really nice trick. As soon as he says no and he starts to fly up, if you're fast, you can get under his feet. And if you can get on this side of his feet, what happens with the knockback is you'll actually get knocked directly towards where you need to go. It's tight, it's difficult. It's made easier with a goblin jump or something, but you can do that. If you don't, then I would pop feather, goblin jump. Ideally, you have an evoker to carry you. I didn't have one assigned to me. It's quite the knockback, quite the push. So here, I fortunately got pushed the correct direction, and I'm looking to heal. Right here, you want to get everybody topped up because this land actually hurts a lot. And if somebody's fairly low, let's say that, for example, Heisman was like right about here, like 60% health or something, he's in danger of dying. So you want to get everybody topped up. Some people opt to use their first mana potion here. If they're using a long drink potion, they just sit down right here where there's nothing happening. I didn't do that because I liked having this moment to top up the group. This was the moment where we lusted to get as much damage as possible. And here I'm PIing the DK. This is also the moment when my Shadow Fiend came back up, so I'm looking to get that used as early as possible so that I can get back the mana. And so here I'm just doing AoE healing on the raid, dispels, stuff like that. Quick note about Phase 2, I was not assigned to heal the ads for the most part. So I did drop something on them every now and then, but I'm the one healer that's dedicated to healing the raid in this particular pull. So our monk is assigned to full single target on all these big trees. Disc is Gala's throwing radiance on them and healing them with atonement healing and stuff, and Amugi's flapping around like crazy, healing them. Quick note on Amugi, shout out to him. He actually is an Aug main, and he swapped for us. And this was his first fight healing, and he did quite well. So big props to him for being flexible and swapping around. So here, moving through, right here, these blazes. This is important to note. These blazes, whenever you're positioned, you want to be a little bit back, and you'd want to be on the opposite side of wherever the 5 small guys are. It's much easier to hit them than it is to hit the tree, so you want to be away from them. So ideally, I would be positioned like maybe back here or so. As ranged, I don't need to be up there, so I can be back here and create some easy blazes that are horizontally in front of the ads, so I'm not having to move much. So right here, there's a couple things that I'm looking to do. First of all, I'm getting just trucked by these blazes. They keep moving at the last minute and dropping them on me a bit. But I'm looking to mass dispel the group. And then after these blazes end, I'm looking to go over and heal, put Guardian Spirit on the tree so that our monk can heal. I got hit by 2 blazes there. Unfortunately, I didn't die. I did use my health stone there. So right here, running up, putting Guardian Spirit on the tree so that smoothing can do his thing. Right here, these circles. So I want to be in. There's not blazes for a bit, The cages are the next thing. So you do want to be in as the raid healer, so that if I get assigned on a purple, I can stack the purple circle on either the blue marker or the red marker. If I got the red one, actually what I did is I delayed my macro. We had the hunters and the healers delay pressing their macro so that they wouldn't necessarily get assigned to break the cages. We did have a couple pulls where like half of the 4 red circles went on to healers and hunters and stuff, and then nobody pushed it and it didn't get broken. So that is a problem. You can take it upon yourself if you're mechanically gifted. You can take it upon yourself to uh, push it early and be the consistent breaker and stuff, but I did not. Since I was the only raid healer focused on the group, not the ads, I did not. And for the most part, it worked out. There's like maybe 2 pulls that it really created a problem out of 400, so I'll take those odds. So right here, for these cages, before the nerf, Seedling was up for it. So you can see I'm actually assigned Seedling. It's not up yet. It's not going to be, unfortunately. So what I was doing is I was just mentally pushing back Seedling for when he lands right here for Flamefall. Actually, I think for this one I used it a little earlier, but any damage right here after the cages you can use it for. So I did my Mass Dispel late there, got it off just then because I was getting trucked by those blazes. And then right here when it's the cages, so I'll back up just a second. These cages, you can see the purple are moving into the AMZ. Red is going as soon as those purples drop, and definitely as soon as the reds drop. This whole time window is a really nice time to drop Sanctifies on this group and stuff like that. What move up afterwards, and I did some drive-bys where I like ran and jumped through and did some Holy Novas and stuff. They need some healing because they're taking a lot of disproportionate damage compared to the rest of the group, so that's a nice place to aim with your Sanctifies and stuff. So here I'm using my Seedling to stabilize the group after the cages. I didn't always... Oh, man. Got hit by 2 blazes there, people moving. And 2 ads got hit, so you can hear them calling out in comms that's a bit of a problem. So we stunned them and gripped them in, and fortunately we still had enough healing on the heart to make it. So right here after the blazes and stuff, I'm looking to cast my Symbol of Hope, both for the mana and also to get everybody's defenses back up. I think I cast it right about now. Maybe. There it is. Okay. Not much healing here, so this is a nice moment. Moments like this where the raid is topped up, there's not much damage coming in because they're successfully taking care of the small ads. That's when you can dip off and help heal the small ads and stuff like that. Drop a Serenity into the big ad, stuff like that. Okay, this next set right here, this is where I was previously assigned by Divine Hymn. You can see it's not up because of the earlier phasing time. This is a really juicy time to use your Divine Hymn because it hits all 10 of these ads. It's really good. But unfortunately, it's just not up. And so rather than using it for this after they've taken a bunch of healing and they're probably going to start getting shields soon, I honestly could have used it right here on this pull, but there were some pulls where Divine Hymn was coming up and like half of them had shields, and it was the raid was full. It just wasn't worth it. So I actually just pushed my Divine Hymn back to the next Spirit set after this. So here doing Dispels. It drives me nuts that bar is covering the health bars. I apologize for that. New media player.
Ragnon in 30. Blue with blazes. Watch the ads.
Okay, so dodging blazes, and then after this I'm looking to get in position so that I'm in range for the hymn. So right here my hymn is hitting the ads. It's also hitting the rest of the group. So using my hymn here.
Everybody hit Burning. Age is coming. We're on Burning Colossus. Fuck this thing up. Big damage on it. Age is stacked. Age is stacked.
Again, this is another nice moment to heal. You can see I'm targeting right there with Sanctifies, and I do a run through Holy Nova here. Or no, I didn't. I thought I did. Blazes are a little spicy. That was bad on my part. I thought I was further away from the tree than I was. That was a little closer than I would have liked. I didn't really have much I could have done as far as movement side to side. I probably could have run down this way, but I don't know. That one was a little scuffed, but luckily we made it. So here I'm dropping this set right here of the 3 tree sets. My cooldowns were assigned. I would void shift this northmost ad, and sometimes it would heal him up all the way. Sometimes if I didn't notice my health was down a little bit, he would still need some topping up. So usually a void shift plus like a serenity will do it. This time I had to do some extra spot heals. So I did void shift, serenity, and I think like 2 flash heals. Yeah. 2 flash heals got him. And then I'm doing Guardian Spirit. I like to wait on the Guardian Spirit here. I was doing it really early, but the problem was nobody else was in range of him, and so he wasn't benefiting from it because I was healing this ad. So I usually void shifted this one, and then I would Guardian Spirit the center ad and help heal that up if the raid didn't need help. Again, my primary focus is on the raid, secondary is on the ads, because all of the other healers are focused on the ads.
Keep going.
Hit the boss when it comes out.
All right.
Full boss. Watch that. Watch chrono.
Turn in the boss.
Smoldering seedling in 30.
Dodging here.
Not too much to say about this section, just a lot of the same.
Blasting boss, come on. Fuck him up.
That moment right there is probably your best moment to drink. Do a mana pot drink. So you can see I'm still like 13 seconds off my cooldown, so I used it late this pull. But right there after that blaze set is a really nice time just to sit down and drink. But I did not have it up, unfortunately. So what I had to do is I had to wait until after this blaze set.
Dispel.
So just trying to get some last health healing on these ads and stuff like that. I should be drinking right now. I'm not. I should be, and then now I'm drinking, and you'll notice that this gets cut just a little bit short. He's landing. So again, I would recommend using your mana pot a little earlier in phase 1, so that this second mana pot, if you're doing the same concept as me, you can do a long drink potion on that second to last blaze set, after that second to last blaze set. So here I'm drinking, and he's going to land. Because I'm drinking, I'm not in range of the gate, so I goblin jump to get into position quickly. Trying to take advantage of my apotheosis here. Getting some recharge on Sanctifies. And here in phase 3, the nerf had just happened. And so the timings were all screwed up on phase 2 and phase 3 timings. And so here in phase 3, the note is completely scuffed. So we're just flying blind here. I had pre-planned my cooldowns. So what I am doing is the Apocalypse Roars. So when you stack in, somebody drops a seed, you get knocked back. Those are the biggest moments where you could really fit a healing cooldown. So my plan was to use Seedling for this first roar, Salve for the second roar, and then him sometime before the end of the fight when I could actually stand and channel it without getting a spatial paradox. So here I'm just healing, kind of positioned on this side, dodging the frontal. And right here, after these blazes resolve, you're sprinting in position for the Firestorm. So here I'm running. I didn't get it, but I was ready. If I did, I was mentally ready to position those Firestorms. I want to get a little bit away so I don't have to worry about dodging them.
Blazes and then seeds move in.
Okay, next is Blazes, Swirlies, and then we stack. So here I want to get somewhat close, but able to dodge these Swirlies. Okay, and then we stack in right here. He's casting Apocalypse Roar, so we stack in. I'm popping my Seedling in advance so that as soon as the roar happens, I'm able to fully dump in heals. And I actually had GS on this as well. You could opt to save that for yourself if you're worried about your survivability, but I wanted to heal as much as possible here. And also it was built in my macro, so I didn't really have a choice. So here we're stacking in. I've got Seedling, and I'm pumping it with Serenity. I was actually... that was early. That was bad. So you can see right here, I cast Seedling, and for some reason, right now, I'm dropping Serenities into it. I guess it wasn't bad because it was topping people off, but that was a lot of wasted healing potential. So right there, the knockback, as soon as you get inside that circle, you can see you have a shield, you're safe. The absorb's on you, you're good to go. You can start moving right away. I was focusing more on healing the seedling. Otherwise, I would be moving under his feet and ideally getting under his feet on this side, just like at the end of the other intermission, so that I get blown towards this side. I'm already in position. Some people, I think, were able to do that.
Move across as a
Yeah,
group.
some people did. I was late, though.
Get together. Watch your
So
feet,
just
guys.
healing as we move across. The healing in this phase is pretty
Watch your feet.
strenuous.
Frontal next.
Symbol of hope
Stay
in
healthy.
30.
A lot of damage.
Console
And if any seed
blazes,
holder
firestorm
ticks
right
out,
after.
it's a bad day. So as far as our positioning here, our seeds are on the opposite side, and you can see on the mini map we got smoothing who's right here. He's positioned centrally, so he is responsible for all of the seed holders. So it's on him to make sure that they do not tick out, and then the rest of the healers are all focused on this side.
Watch the
Firestorm
blazes,
right
nice
after.
and easy. Take these back. Fire.
And you could see there, I knew the firestorm was coming. I was pre-moving, ready to go for the firestorm. And since I knew that I was the fastest to move, I could grab this far right spot here. So I moved over to give room for a third person. So all the firestorms are nicely placed there, out of the way.
Blazes here.
So we blaze, and next is going to be the roar. So we're stacking into position
Move in, move in, move in.
Get close. Watch your feet.
after these swirlies.
I'll drop after again. Thank
So we
you.
stack in. Ideally, that would have been dropped a little bit earlier so that I would know where I was getting knocked back. If I could grab the absorb, scoot a little bit this way, and then start casting salve so that I'm casting it as I get knocked back and hopefully not get knocked into a firestorm, that would have been ideal. But unfortunately, it was dropped late. So here, it barely got dropped in time. I guess it was fairly safe. Moving left, and then as soon as I can plant, now I'm casting salve. I missed a lot of the healing potential there. But it's still good because there's a ton of ticking damage in this fight, this phase.
From the breath.
Harudon phase, PI, excuse me.
Salvation in 30.
Watch the frontal.
Area
Blaze.
chat
Just looking for a nice moment to cast a Divine Hymn. So after these blazes,
Firestorm.
this right here is a nice moment because this. Sorry, not right here.
Now. Do not hold. Patience now.
After these blazes, we move in. After these blazes, we
Watch
move in.
blazes.
And we move in now. Get the
Get
square. Get
close.
the square. Or, sorry,
Watch your
move,
feet.
move.
Okay, I guess I used it after this third. I was forgetting where I used this hymn. So after this next knockback,
Divine hymn in 30.
so just essentially using a cooldown for every single.
Let's do this.
Using a cooldown for every single roar is an easy way to keep track of all that. So
Every house down. Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! Yes! Clean, man. Clean as fuck. Clean. That's money, bro. And
so
we-
yeah, it was a fun kill. It was definitely very satisfying. Anyways, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, I know I stopped and paused a lot. There's a lot to go over in very short time frames in this fight, and I'm trying to explain my thought process through the whole thing. There's probably something I missed. I'll think about it as I'm sleeping tonight. I'll wake up in a sweat in the middle of the night saying, "Oh, I should have talked about blank." But if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to help. I check my comments very frequently, and I try to respond to as many as I can, almost all of them. And if you like this kind of content, if you're looking for more healer content and discussion and stuff like that, maybe consider joining my community Discord, linked in the description. And we have all kinds of talks there. Also, I do stream our raids every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Mountain Time. You can find the link to my Twitch in the description. I hope to see you there. So we're going to start re-clearing next week. We're on break this week since we killed it last week. And I hope to see you there for some re-clears and stuff. Thanks for watching. Good luck in your Fyrakk progression, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.